Unit 7, Lesson 2, Categories and Properties of Elements. We are going to look at the metals, nonmetals, and metalloids and their location on the periodic table. The element groups. Group 1, these are the alkali metals. They all each have one valence electron. They are extremely reactive with water. And the most reactive is francium. You'll also notice they all tend to lose one electron to form a positive 1 charge. Group 2, alkali earth metals, have two valence electrons. They like to lose 2 electrons to form positive 2 ions, which are indicated here in the top right-hand corner, and they are fairly reactive with water. Groups 3 through 12 are transition metals. These are the least reactive metals, and they tend to form colored ions in solutions. Group 17 are halogens. These have 7 valence electrons, and they like to gain one additional electron to form a negative 1 ion, as you will notice here in the top right-hand corner. These are the most reactive of the elements is fluorine. Group 18 are noble gases. They are unreactive, or as we like to call inert. They have a stable octet, which means they have 8 valence electrons. The exception is helium, which has 2 valence electrons. They are also monatomic, which means they will occur alone. Hydrogen is not officially part of any particular group. It is a nonmetal, and it is a gas at standard temperature and pressure. The properties of metals are they are malleable, which means they can be hammered or rolled into thin sheets. They are ductile, which means they can be drawn into a thin wire. They're excellent conductors of heat and electricity. They have luster, which in other words means they are shiny. They tend to lose electrons to form cations, and they are solid at standard temperature and pressure, with the exception of gold, or with the exception of mercury. Metals have what we call a sea of mobile electrons. This is what results in electrical conductivity. Metallic character basically talks about how much like a metal an element is. Francium is most metallic. Closer to francium, more metallic. Further away from francium, the least metallic the element is. So here's some example of the metallic characteristic trends. Francium is here in the bottom left-hand corner. As we go down our groups and across our periods, you can see that as we go towards francium, they get more and more characteristics of metals. Some properties of metalloids are they are semiconductors. They're good, but not that great of a conductor of electricity. They have luster like metals, but they're brittle like nonmetals. They're used for making computer microchips. Some properties of nonmetals is that they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. They are brittle. They will shatter when they are struck. They are dull, and they tend to gain electrons to form anions. The summary of the categories of the elements are metals are malleable, ductile, shiny, excellent, and good conductors of electricity. They tend to lose electrons to form the positive ion. They have low electronegativity, and they're high and they're low in ionizing energy, which we will talk more about. Metalloids are in between. They can either act like a metal or they will act like a nonmetal. Nonmetals tend to be brittle, they're dull, they are poor conductors of electricity and heat. They like to gain electrons, form ions, and they have high electronegativity and high ionization energies. So which of the following are symbols for halogen elements? You would need to look at your periodic table, and you would look at column number 17, and the halogen would be chlorine. Practice 2. Identify each property below as more characteristic of a metal or nonmetal. So brittle, would brittle be part a metal or a nonmetal? How about malleable? A poor conductor of electricity. Which would that be like? Shiny and tends to gain electrons. You will notice that brittle is a nonmetal. Malleable is a property of metals. Poor conductors are nonmetals. Things that are shiny are metals, and tend to gain electrons are our nonmetals. So check your understanding. Why is hydrogen a nonmetal, but it is listed on the metal side of the periodic table? Keep in mind how many